What if love didn't heal, but instead heightened the chaos within us? Punch Drunk Love isn't your typical romantic comedy. It's a film that takes the familiar beats of love stories and wraps them into something far more unsettling. Directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, this film doesn't treat love as a solution, but as a force that disrupts and reshapes the fragile psyche of its protagonist, Barry Egan. The world Anderson creates is unpredictable, driven by erratic soundscapes, disorienting visuals, and an emotional intensity that refuses to conform to the expectations of the genre. How does Punch Drunk Love reinvent the romantic comedy? And why does it resonate so deeply with those who crave something more than a simple love story? Paul Thomas Anderson's body of work consistently pushes boundaries, capturing the nuances of human emotions within narratives that are both expansive and intimate. His films, from Boogie Night to There Will Be Blood, are emotionally rich and often challenge the conventional structures of cinema. Yet, among his more celebrated works, Punch Drunk Love stands out as a peculiar anomaly, a film that straddles the line between romantic comedy and psychological drama while subverting both genres in the process. Before we dive any deeper into the intricacies of Punch Drunk Love, it's important to note that this analysis will contain spoilers. If you haven't seen the film yet, I highly recommend you guys watching it first. Anderson's unconventional storytelling thrives on surprises, and to fully appreciate the themes and layers we'll be discussing, it's best to experience the film with fresh eyes and come back to this video. At its core, Punch Drunk Love tells the story of Barry Egan, played by Adam Sandler, a socially anxious, emotionally isolated man who finds himself caught between his crippling insecurity and an unexpected chance at love. Chaos defines Barry's existence, from the constant ridicule and emotional mistreatment he endured at the hands of his seven domineering sisters throughout his life to his ongoing battle with his anger he has internalized. His existence is punctuated by a series of seemingly absurd events: a random harmonium left on the street, him buying pudding, or lots of pudding, to exploit a promotional scheme for frequent flyer points, enabling him to escape from everything. His encounter with a shady phone sex operator who blackmails him for money, and ultimately his chance meeting with Lena, played by Emily Watson, who offers him a glimpse of love and connection. However, this love doesn't bring immediate salvation. It's disruptive, unsettling, and pushes Barry into unfamiliar emotional territory. This premise, a man overwhelmed by both his own emotional volatility and the world around him, sets the stage for Anderson to redefine what romantic comedy can be. Through his unconventional storytelling, Anderson invites us to experience love not as a solution, but as a force that destabilizes and transforms. It's a narrative that plays with absurdity, vulnerability, and tenderness all at once, reflecting the fractured nature of Barry's psyche. For me, Anderson's ability to capture this complexity is what makes Punch Drunk Love resonate so deeply. It feels like a reflection of the dissonance many of us experience in our own emotional lives, where love and anxiety collide, and the familiar tropes of romance are turned upside down. Anderson's unique vision allows the film to become something more than just a quirky love story. It's a profound exploration of the emotional turbulence that often accompanies love and the messy, chaotic journey towards self acceptance. Romantic comedies follow a pretty standard formula: boy meets girl, they overcome obstacles, they fall in love. Anderson, however, takes this formula and completely reinvents it in Punch Drunk Love. He is not just making a quirky love story, he is creating a universe with its own internal logic, where love becomes a destabilizing force rather than a simple resolution. Anderson's world is unpredictable, chaotic, and constantly shifting. Love in this film is not a cure, it's a force that bends reality, creating a space where emotions take on a physical presence and disrupt the fabric of the story. For me, this aspect of the film resonates on a personal level. Romantic comedies often feel too polished and predictable, but Anderson's vision of love feels more honest. Barry Egan's journey isn't about winning someone over, it's about him trying to hold himself together as love breaks into his world and throws everything into disarray. That's what makes Punch Drunk Love so compelling. It's not afraid to portray love as something messy, irrational, and transformative. One of the most striking elements of Punch Drunk Love is its use of sound and music, which serve as mirrors to Barry Egan's chaotic internal world. John Bryan's score doesn't just underscore the emotions of the film, it actively participates in them. There's a restlessness to the music, a kind of stuttering, unpredictable rhythm that mirrors Barry's anxiety and emotional instability. This is where Anderson's brilliance shines through. The soundscape isn't just about supporting the narrative, it's about immersing us in Barry's mind. The relentless percussions and swirling melodies are manifestation of his inner turmoil. You can feel Barry's tension through the music, the way it ebbs and flows unpredictably, just like his emotions. And when love enters his life, the score begins to change, softening in moments, but never losing that underlying tension. For me, this is what makes the film so immersive. The music pulls you into Barry's state of mind. The harmonium becomes almost like a motive for his yearning, a way for him to ground himself amidst the chaos. It's these subtleties that make Anderson's storytelling so effective. The film's sound design becomes an extension of Barry's emotions, creating a deeply personal connection with the audience. As we dive deeper into the music of Punch Drunk Love, it becomes clear how Brian's score reflects Barry's fragile psyche. The percussions often feels erratic as if it's on the edge of breaking down, which mirrors Barry's simmering anxiety. There are moments where the music feels almost frantic, overwhelming the viewer just as Barry himself is overwhelmed by his emotions. But then, in moments of clarity, usually when Barry is with Lena, the music shifts. It doesn't entirely calm down, but it begins to find some structure, hinting at the way love is slowly reshaping Barry's chaotic world. This score is unlike anything you would hear in a typical romantic comedy. Rather than dictating how we should feel, the music challenges us to understand Barry on a deeper level. It forces us into his mind, helping us feel the weight of his emotional journey. For me, this is where Punch Drunk Love separates itself from other films in the genre. It uses music not just to support emotions, but to actively express it, giving us a psychological mirror into Barry's inner world. The cinematography in Punch Drunk Love is equally as important as its music in conveying Barry's emotional state. Robert Elswit's camera is like a character in itself, always moving with Barry's emotional fluctuations. The camera movements are often jarring and erratic, reflecting Barry's anxiety and instability. In moments of tension, the camera feels as though it's almost suffocating Barry, closing in on him, trapping him in his emotional state. What's fascinating about Anderson's visual style here is how he uses light and color to further express Barry's psyche. The use of vibrant blues and reds creates a world that feels both surreal and emotionally heightened. The lighting, too, plays a critical role in framing Barry's isolation. Scenes where Barry is alone are often lit with harsh, sterile light, emphasizing his emotional detachment. But as he begins to connect with Lena, the lighting warms, subtly hinting at the emotional thaw he is experiencing. For me, it's this visual language that makes Punch Drunk Love so powerful. Anderson and Elswith use every cinematic tool at their disposal color, light, framing to express Barry's emotional journey. It's not just about what characters are saying or doing, it's about how the world around them is shaped by their emotions. The cinematography invites us to see the world through Barry's eyes. to experience his anxiety, his fear, and ultimately his transformation. Punch Drunk Love is a film that breaks the mold of what a romantic comedy can be. Paul Thomas Anderson takes the genre's familiar elements and distorts them, creating a world that feels as fractured and unpredictable as Barry Egan himself. The music, sound design, and cinematography are all integral in bringing this world to life, immersing us in Barry's chaotic inner life and helping us to experience love as he does with all its instability, intensity, and ultimate redemption. For me, Anderson's genius lies in his ability to craft a cinematic universe that feels deeply personal, yet universal in its emotional truths. Punch Drunk Love may be an unconventional love story, but it captures the essence of love in all its messy, irrational glory. It's a film that defies the rules, creating a world where emotions take on physical form and love becomes the thing that can either break us or save us. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Punch Drunk Love. If you enjoyed this exploration, be sure to subscribe for more in depth videos where we continue to dissect and appreciate the artistry behind the films we love. Don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts. What did you think of Barry's journey? How do you interpret the film's use of sound and visuals? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Until next time, stay curious, stay captivated, and discover the depth of cinema on Cinema Discourse.